Hey guys, it's Owen from Wrestling Inc. back with another wrestling news roundup. Without any further ado, let's get into today's biggest stories in the world of professional wrestling. Jeff Hardy arrested on DUI and other charges yesterday morning. Jeff Hardy ran into trouble with Florida law enforcement on Monday. Hardy was arrested in Volusia County, Florida for DUI, alcohol/drugs, third offense within 10 years, driving while license cancelled/suspended/revoked, and violating restrictions placed on driver's license. According to Volusia County records, Hardy was booked on June 13th at 12:45 p.m. local time. All three charges are felony counts, with Hardy currently being held on a bond that totals $3,500, $2,500 for the DUI and $500 apiece for the license violations. According to the county clerk's office, Hardy is scheduled for a court appearance on Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. local time. New details have emerged in the latest arrest of AEW wrestler Jeff Hardy. Numerous reports have now come out about Jeff Hardy's condition during his arrest for DUI, as well as driving with a suspended license. ESPN's Mark Raimondi cited the Florida Highway Patrol's arrest report, which described Hardy as, quote, in a stupor and confused, end quote, and being pulled over for swerving and running off the roadway. Raimondi continued that report, which described Hardy as unsteady and smelled of alcohol. He also could not complete any portion of the field sobriety tests. According to Raimondi, officers administered two breathalyzers, one reading 0.294 and the second reading 0.291, both staggeringly over the legal limit of 0.08. Post Wrestling also found more details from Trooper Zach Steiner's arrest report. Hardy was traveling along the 195 in a white Dodge Charger when Steiner pulled him over and, according to the police report, arrested Hardy without incident. The report also notes that 4 911 calls were placed about the Dodge Charger's reckless driving. While the report states that Hardy was arrested without incident, it was noted that Steiner had difficulty putting the vehicle in park, causing the car to initially roll a bit, as well as trouble unlocking the car doors. According to Steiner, Hardy told the officer that he had been drinking and agreed to a field sobriety test, which Hardy went on to fail. According to Raimondi's timeline of events, it was after the field sobriety test that officers administered the breathalyzer. The AEW star had spent the previous evening performing an acoustic set, as well as attending the Slam Down 7 convention in Orlando, Florida. Hardy was arrested around 12:30 a.m. the following morning. Jeff Hardy was reportedly bonded out of jail in Volusia County, Florida on Monday evening at 7:07 p.m. Eastern Time, paying a $3,500 bond via the assistance of a bail bondsman. In an update from PW Insider, Hardy was slated to appear in court Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time, but that appearance is currently listed as, quote, cancelled. No reason has been provided as to the reason for the cancellation. As the wrestling world continues to react to the news that Jeff Hardy has been arrested for DUI, some are wondering about the immediate future of Hardy in AEW, in particular this Wednesday night. It was announced last week that Hardy and his brother Matt Hardy would take on the Young Bucks and Jurassic Express in a three-way ladder match, with Jurassic Express's AEW Tag Team Championships on the line. Will this match still happen? A recent tweet by AEW suggests the answer is no. At 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time yesterday afternoon, AEW released a tweet promoting this Wednesday's AEW Dynamite episode, including Ethan Page vs. Miro, Wardlow vs. 20 security guards, and Ortiz vs. Chris Jericho in a hair vs. hair match. The three-way ladder match, however, was no longer promoted, despite having been promoted just 2 hours earlier. In an update from Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer, while AEW has not said anything publicly, they have asked Warner Media, quote, to stop all promotion of Jeff Hardy in any commercials or anywhere else immediately, end quote. Meltzer added that there is also uncertainty with regards to the main event of AAA's Triple Mania this Saturday in Tijuana, where the Hardys were supposed to wrestle Dragon Lee and Dralistico. Meltzer noted that if the Hardys are pulled from the bout, FTR are likely to take their place and defend the AAA World Tag Team titles against Lee and Dralistico. Quote, but then we have to open up the can of worms of FTR wrestling at Forbidden Door and also on a AAA show a week apart because of the New Japan/CMLL relationship, Meltzer added. AAA are still hoping to have Matt Hardy involved in the main event of Triple Mania this weekend, according to Dave Meltzer on the latest edition of Wrestling Observer Radio. The Hardys were scheduled to compete in the main event of the show this Saturday in Tijuana against Dragon Lee and Dralistico, but that match is now up in the air due to the recent news of Jeff Hardy being arrested for a DUI emerging. but the company still does want Matt to be involved, and they would ideally like to find a new partner for him. As of now, nobody has been determined for that, as it is short notice for somebody to make that trip, but they have reportedly asked for a bunch of guys, as AAA are hopeful of making this match work still. There is still no confirmation on the match happening though, including Matt's status. Ezekiel says that Elias is returning to WWE Raw next week. WWE fans may finally get their opportunity to once again, quote, walk with Elias, end quote, on next week's edition of Monday Night Raw. Ezekiel announced on last night's episode of the Red Brand that his guitar-wielding older brother Elias is set to return to WWE next week. How will they present the first ever segment with both brothers in the building at the same time? Only time will tell. Zeke's announcement came after he successfully defeated Kevin Owens via countout. Owens has been adamant that Ezekiel and Elias are one in the same, so when the commentators called Zeke by the name Ezekiel during the show, Owens got distracted and screamed at Byron Saxton until he got counted out. Last time Elias was shown on WWE television was during a series of vignettes last summer that seemed to do away with the original Elias character, showing a tombstone that read Elias 2017 to 2021. Ezekiel introduced his new gimmick as Elias' younger brother on the Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania 38. The two characters have similarities, such as their catchphrases like "Who wants to walk with Elias?" and Ezekiel's "Who wants to hear Zeke speak?" In a recent interview with NBA Sports Boston, Ezekiel made clear his intentions to win the WWE Tag Team titles with his brother someday. Quote, "Me and Elias tag team champions, I can't imagine anything better than that," Ezekiel said. "Me and Elias, we've not talked for quite a few weeks now. I'd love just to know where he is. I'd love to have him come out to Monday Night Raw and let's just get into it. Let's be the tag team we've always dreamed of." Owens and Ezekiel are now 1-1 in their rivalry after last night's match. It'll be interesting to see how the return of Elias factors into the ongoing storyline. Two more names qualify for WWE Women's Money in the Bank match. Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan are heading to WWE Money in the Bank. During last night's episode of Raw, Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan defeated Doudrop and Nikki ASH to qualify for the 2022 Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Bliss and Morgan picked up the victory after Bliss planted Nikki ASH with a patented DDT to get the 1-2-3. Bliss and Morgan joined Lacey Evans as the first three participants in this year's annual ladder match. Evans qualified on SmackDown where she defeated Xia Li. Bliss won the 2018 edition of the match where she was able to fend off Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, Charlotte Flair, Ember Moon, Naomi, Lana and Natalya. Bliss also competed in last year's match, as did Morgan, which featured Asuka, Naomi, Zelina Vega, Natalya, Tamina and the eventual winner, Nikki ASH. So what are your thoughts on today's Wrestling News Roundup? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe to Wrestling Inc. and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.